How are you feeling right now?
Stop and come here closer. Baby, I see you looking over your shoulder.
Do you think you're an old soul?
Bitch, I probably built the pyramids. Honestly, you worked me full circle in therapy. I no longer feel fuck you, now I feel bless you. Oh my God, that felt so good.
The most important question for today, can I come in?
Of course you can come in.
Today we begin with a story you've chosen to share. A relationship where you gave so much of yourself that you were left depleted. We're going to walk through that chapter together. The beginning, the unraveling, and the moment you knew you had to choose you. I want you to take us back to the beginning. Who was he? What did it feel like at first?
Who was he? I think he was a mirage. Almost too good to be true. And in the end, it's because it wasn't. There was layers upon layers upon layers of a manufactured person, perfectly fit and suited for me. But it was manufactured. And nothing fake lasts.
When you first met him, what unmet need did he seem to fill? Was it safety, validation, adoration, protection?
When I first met him, he fulfilled all of my desires to be spontaneous and to pour all of this nurturing that I have within me, but had no outlet for. And there was so much passion and so much poetry, so many unfulfilled goals in the end.
When you first met him and you said he showed up as someone who was spontaneous, do you recall ever telling him those were the things you desired?
I think that one of the only positive things about it was that he showed me that I was missing that in my life. I was missing a little bit more fluidity in my rigidity.
Was there a fantasy about love you projected onto him? One that felt familiar, maybe even inherited?
I think it was the opposite. I think that there was a fantasy of love projected onto me that neither of us could live up to. There was a lot of false hope and false promises that were laid out that did not reflect who they actually were and what was expected of me from the person that they were wasn't me.
Do you feel like elaborating on what some of those hopes were that weren't met?
Somebody who actually believes in walking through hell for someone else, somebody who is to their core a ride or die, but I don't believe in being a ride or die, because to be a ride or die, you have to sacrifice your boundaries. You have to literally die for them, and no one is worth dying for other than you.
Yeah, I agree. One of my favorite quotes that I've written recently is, a woman would have to die to be alive with you. You have to really like shut down all the parts of yourself to let someone whose cup is empty really thrive. And you give so much of yourself to them, and it is truly a sacrifice. And I feel like as empaths, we all kind of go through that journey of giving the most extreme and then like eventually unlearning that and protecting our boundaries. Can you tell me if you saw any red flags early on that you chose to ignore?
The red flags were very pink in the beginning, and then they turned as red as the dress I'm wearing.
Wow.
There was, again, a mirage. It was the image of the person that they knew I wanted to see. And then that slowly started unraveling because you can't wear a mask forever. It's going to start slipping soon. I feel like people wear a mask because they're afraid of who they are, and they don't know who they are. They project onto others whatever they think that that person wants them to be. And they slowly lose parts of themselves in doing that because they're not honoring who they actually are.
Do you feel like these people who are walking around leeching on very powerful, strong women like yourself, do you feel like they're empty inside, or they're completely detached from their empathy and emotion, that they seek women like us for validation and for attention supply? Or do you think that there is parts of them that is alive, that are authentic? And is there a world where both exist, or do you think it's one or the other?
I think that they both have to exist, but it's about how long you're willing to ride until that person decides which person they want to become. Are you going to die, or are you going to ride it out? How long will it take for them to actually become the person that you see little tiny nuggets of, little glimpses of here and there? Because I think that we are extremely intelligent and intuitive women, and there's no world where we wouldn't see somebody who was purely bad. There's little tiny glimpses of a genuine person, but they have to find themselves first. Just because you can see it doesn't mean they can find that in them. You have to know when to walk away, if it's ever going to happen or not for them.
I'm just thinking about that. Why did you think it was easy for you in that moment in your life to be manipulated by him? Like, why was it so important for you to have that love from someone that ultimately was showing you pink flags and then red flags? Was there something in your life that was missing, that he was feeling?
I think every time it happened, I stuck around because I wanted it to not be true in a way. I thought that if I stuck around long enough, they would actually change. And then all of the pain that I went through would have meaning. So staying would give my pain meaning. But again, you have to know when to walk away.
Can you tell me what you were doing to keep that relationship alive?
Oh, I was doing everything to keep that relationship alive. I was doing therapy, I was doing research, I was putting crystals under the moon. I was doing everything I possibly could, short of cutting out part of my frontal lobe and giving it to them because they clearly needed it more than I do.
What was he doing for you?
Teaching me patience.
That's, what else was he doing? Was he doing the work? Was he trying to do the work?
You know, I do have to give credit there because he was doing the work, but you also have to apply the work. You can go to therapy every day of your life. You could wake up at 7 a.m. every day of your life. You could go to the gym. You could change all of your habits, but where is the application of it? You could consume every piece of philosophy and psychology and learn everything, but are you actually applying those things? Are you actually making those hard decisions? Are you changing?
Was there a moment where you saw he was changing, and then how long did it last, and did he go back to his old ways?
It was very cyclical. There was periods of bliss, of the future that he knew I wanted, that he told me he wanted as well. But first it would last for a couple months. And then those cycles slowly got shorter and shorter. And then they quickly got shorter and shorter and shorter. And then it became a couple weeks, and You can only see somebody walk in circles for so long before you have to just leave them where they are.
Yeah, it's very real. Was there a moment you realized you were playing the role of both partner and therapist and life coach and whatever other role you probably took on?
There was so many moments like that, and maybe I have a bit of a martyr complex for sticking around as long as I did, but in the beginning, it felt worth it because as someone who knows better, because I've grown through a lot and I read a lot and I understand a lot, I felt like it was, if you know, you have to teach. So I did that until it crossed over from helping someone and guiding them and walking with them through a process into sacrificing myself and my boundaries and my fundamental beliefs in exchange for someone who took that support for granted.
How did it feel to be taken for granted? Did you ever feel like your empathy was being exploited?
I felt like my empathy was being exploited every single time the cycle would restart. And being taken for granted feels devastating. It really makes you question your value and what you bring to the table and a lot of things about yourself. I think the worst part of it is that hesitation to continue being that person, the cynicism that you leave with after being taken for granted for so long. It changes you a little bit and it doesn't make you as hopeful of a person, but that's what therapy's for.
Can you tell me about the way you learned to love? Do you think Arab girls are taught to sacrifice themselves for partnership?
Oh my God, that's the one thing I wish Arab girls would unlearn. It's that they should sacrifice themselves and who they are for a relationship. That they should be on their feet all day because the man works, or whatever it is that's instilled in us from a young age and from seeing the matriarchs in our family in those positions.
It's something I struggle with as well. I feel like in every serious relationship I've been in, it is like a self-sacrifice because I've seen my mother do it with my father. It's almost like we stop living to cater for the men. And something that I'm working through with my therapist still, and she told me this 5 years ago, and for some reason it didn't click, and I still ended up in a situation where I poured so much into someone and, you know, I wasn't filling up my own cup. But I asked her, I was like, how do I not lose myself in a relationship? What do I have to do? And she's like, Sarah, you're single right now. This was 5 years ago, so I am single now again. But 5 years ago, she said this to me. She's like, you're single right now. Take note of what your life looks like. Think about who you hang out with, how often you're texting your friends. What do you do when you wake up? Where do you go? How do you spend your day? And she's like, when you get into a relationship, none of that can change. None of it. And if it does, then you're slipping away and you're slowly self-sacrificing and you're self-abandoning and you're going to repeat the cycle. And she said that and it blew my mind. And then somehow I still fucking repeated the cycle.
You're saying that right now and it's blowing my mind and I'm probably going to repeat the cycle again.
Why
I'm
do
like,
we do
yeah,
this?
there's the formula. That's how you do it.
It's because it's so deeply ingrained in us.
It's so deeply ingrained in us. That's the one thing I wish I could unlearn because I find it romantic. I find like that's the point of a relationship. You're supposed to pour all of yourself into them, but their cup is supposed to be filled up enough on its own when they come to you so that when you pour into them so that they're filled, you're not depleting yourself completely.
Yeah. Can you describe to me what it felt like to be completely depleted? And was there a sense of relief when it ended? Or did you not recognize yourself at all?
When I left, the feeling that remained wasn't, I didn't feel depleted. I did feel proud of myself, but I also felt very disappointed. There was a bit of a mourning period, but it wasn't for the relationship. It was more for the potential that wasn't coming to fruition that I really genuinely saw and believed in. And I know that I'm a very intuitive person and I wouldn't see something in somebody that's not there, but whether they're strong enough to actually achieve that isn't up to me at the end.
Do you think that it's our responsibility to show that, or do you think that's a journey for every individual to go on?
This process has really made me realize that that is a journey for every individual person to go on. It's not something that you can go through with somebody, at least not that early on, at least not when it needs that much work. There needs to be initiative taken independently from somebody telling you what needs to be done.
My motto for this year is no more projects.
I love that.
No more projects. I'm not taking any more projects on.
No. Construction site is closed.
Yeah, construction site, construction company, no
No.
general contractor,
Oh my
no
God.
plumber. We're closed. We're closed forever.
Fuck.
Can you tell me what the lessons you learned from this relationship are?
The lessons I learned from this relationship are that no love given is ever wasted. Everybody deserves love and sympathy and empathy and support and encouragement. But the other side of that lesson is you can't help somebody who likes their problems.
It's profound that you could have so much love in your heart to send this person.
I have so much love, and I think that's why it was so difficult.
Oh, stop and come here closer. Baby, I see you looking over your shoulder. Let's hold it down in a corner. So come on over, put your hands on my.
Do it. Let me try and be sexy about this. It's not gonna work. Honestly, that's all I got. Do you want to try?
You know what? It's for the aesthetic. No, I don't want to try. I'm going to throw up. If
can't-
you can't do it, I can't do it.
It's just very powerful. Are we okay? Okay. We're done with this. Wait. This was a great idea. We thought because we're Arab, we can do this.
We're bringing shame to our culture.
Okay, so I have questions.
Okay,
So many questions for you.
lay them out.
The first being, do you think you're an old soul?
Bitch, I probably built the pyramids.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that I've been here in so many different places. And I feel that when I travel, I think I feel called to so many places. I'll land somewhere and I'll feel ties to it. And I can't explain why. Or compelled to travel somewhere and can't explain why.
Yeah.
Other than, wanting to see this. Like, it's something deeper than just wanting to go somewhere and see the Eiffel Tower or something.
I want to live in this world knowing that anything is possible. And I think people who hear stories like that and they're like, oh, that's bullshit or whatever, I just think they have small minds. And I say, enjoy your small life with your small mind.
Exactly.
Like, I don't want anything to do with
Exactly.
it. Yeah. So I have these glasses.
Okay.
And you love pomegranates, so I picked pomegranate juice. I want to go back to our first scene for a second. So when we were talking about filling up someone else's cup and leaving ours depleted, I want to create visual language around that to show people what that actually looks like with the cup metaphor.
Okay.
Like glass half empty, glass half full. But I want to do it from your perspective.
Okay.
So can you show me with your glass how you believe we're born into the world. Are we born with full cups or empty cups?
I believe that we're born.
You can pour it. You pour it. Or if it's empty, it's empty.
I believe we're born with, well, it really depends what you're born into, because epigenetic trauma is a huge determining factor in how your life is going to go, how it's going to start. So I would believe that just based off of the circumstances I was born into, all of the stress and the trauma that was passed down to me, this is the cup that I was born into, a little bit more than half full.
Half full? Okay. When you got into your relationship, where would you say your cup was at?
My cup was, I had done years of work on myself already.
Okay.
My cup was filling up slowly but surely.
Okay. Let's say this is him. Where was his cup when you met him?
Should I fill a little bit into his?
If he was full.
Okay. He was,
Oh, do you want me to hold it?
no, it's okay. Oh, thank you. He was a little bit lower, please.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry. I'll catch it. Oh, I see.
There we go.
Wow.
Just gonna zoom in on that drop.
But when you met him, did you know it was that?
Actually, when I met him, that's what drew me to him. The vulnerability to show me
Okay.
that there was an insatiable thirst because his cup was so empty.
Okay. And so that's the generational conditioning of wanting to be the healer, wanting to be the provider, the protector. Okay. So in
Eldest daughter syndrome.
what did you call it?
Eldest daughter syndrome.
Oh, okay. I'm baby. I'm the youngest, but I still do it. I do still do it. I'm like the protector for all my siblings, and they all
God.
call me for advice now, even though I'm here and they're over there.
They're
But
so lucky to have you.
I love them though. They're great. Okay, back to this. Sorry. So can you show me how much you were pouring into him versus how much he was giving to you? Where did the new pomegranates come
These
from?
are the tumors that I've grown from the stress.
the tumor.
So this is what I gave, and this is what I got.
Okay. And so he never gave you anything back?
No, that's not
Okay.
true. I do have to be fair.
Okay. So there was maybe like a drop back.
There was little moments of, I would call them grasps
Grass
at
or breadcrumbs.
breadcrumbs, but not in the literal sense of what it means to breadcrumb somebody.
Yeah.
It was more breadcrumbing himself and kind of seeing if he could fake it until he makes it, because
Okay.
it genuinely is a life that I believe he wanted, but maybe not a life that he was capable of having.
Okay. And by the end of the relationship, what did the cups look like?
We both lost a lot.
He gained, girl.
He did gain, but we did lose a lot.
Yeah. You know, when we first spoke, you said that you felt like no matter what you gave him, it wasn't enough. So I want you to pour into this cup with what's left in yours. And like let that sit there. So that's what it looks like to pour into someone who has a hole at the bottom of their cup. I find it really fascinating to see it visually
Me too.
because I've experienced it. How do we stop ourselves from doing that? How do we really break this cycle?
Do we want to stop ourselves from doing that? I feel like I have walked away knowing that I poured a little bit into somebody and I'm not fully depleted.
Yeah.
I'm still standing
Yeah.
and they are better for it. And I did walk away with quite a bit of love and experiences and memories.
Yeah.
So I'm not scared to do that again, but there's a little bit of trepidation about losing myself within it for too long in the cycles and not realizing things fast enough and not taking action fast enough or soon enough. And I think that's the only thing I would want to change. I don't want to change who I am.
Do you want to be a better protector for yourself so you don't end up in situations where you're depleted?
That's what it is. I want
Yeah.
to fight for
Giving
myself.
love is so special.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. And I love how you keep reiterating how much you appreciate the love that you experience. But then there's the mother in me for you is like, okay, but how do we protect you? Because we can't have a depleted Sarah running around.
Yeah.
And I'm also projecting and saying that because I'm on this journey with you, right? So I think I want to share my recent journey that I went on.
Okay.
Because we're sitting in front of a garden and it feels right. I've been doing plant medicine a lot lately to help me understand the parts of myself I don't accept. And I've had every kind of journey. I've had the one where I was like, holy fuck, I'm so miserable. This is so sad. And then I've had the one where I'm flying in the ether and I'm seeing the kingdoms. And then my last one, which was only a couple of weeks ago, it was the most beautiful, innocent journey I've ever been on. And I set the intention to celebrate how far I've come, because the version of me today is not even the version I was at the end of 2024, like in December. Like when that clock ticked over, I had a full ego death and a very, very, very deep, intense rebirth. Like I was birthed into the world. So for the past few months of this year, I've been frolicking around like a newborn. And I love this version of myself. I'm falling in love with myself for the first time. And I've never known what that feels like. You know, we always hear like, oh, self-love this, self-love that. But when you actually do it, when you fall in love with yourself and you're like, I choose me, oh, that's something different.
Yeah.
And I'm finally in it. I've arrived and I just wanted to celebrate that. In this journey, I was like, how do I be mother? Because I've been in my masculine for so long.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to protect my garden. I want to protect my garden so much that I am never left depleted again. And they said to me, Sarah, you've spent so long in your masculine, planting the seeds, pulling the weeds out, building the gates, protecting yourself from the vultures. That's masculinity. To be the real protector is us in our masculine energy.
Yeah.
And they're like, your garden is finally blooming. It's blossoming. There's flowers everywhere. The oak trees are there. The birds are singing. The chickens are running. Like your garden is in full bloom. And they're like, in order to protect it, you have to be cautious of who you let in, but still let people in. And instead of pulling out all your flowers at once and giving it to them and giving everything that you've done to them, you let them come in and you sit with them and you have a picnic and you watch how they treat your garden.
Yeah.
If they pick your flowers without asking you, they're not allowed back.
Yeah.
If they piss on your weed bush and burn the weeds, they're not allowed back.
Only I can burn my weed.
If they trample on the grass that says, do not trample, they're not allowed back. I think that's a metaphor that we all need to take into life. And I think that's how we become protectors. That's how we don't deplete ourselves.
Yeah.
We just let people sit. And then if we don't like how they're acting, we love ourselves enough. And we respect the work that we've done to be like, no, this doesn't work for me. This doesn't fucking work for me.
Yeah.
Bye. Yalla. خلاص. روح من وجهي.
بالعنتيزة.
Exactly. You know? Yeah. I just wanted to share that with you.
I love that. Thank you for sharing it with me.
Of course. So I used to do talks for girls in college and especially ones in young Arab sororities. And the question that came up a lot for me was, how do you liberate yourself from the guilt and shame that comes with embracing our sexuality. And as two women who are so sexually liberated, and, you know, our liberation often gets mistaken for us performing for the male gaze. But I know for a fact that we both do it because we love ourselves and we want to champion ourselves and the journey we've been on and the body as our vessel. And, you know, obviously, like, living in the West comes with the privilege of having that freedom, and it's very different for our family and friends back home. So I do need to acknowledge that everything we say is with the lens of privilege of being here.
Yes.
But I want to spend the last few moments here just learning from you. I've been on my journey. I want to hear about your journey and how you got to a place of reclaiming your body, reclaiming your power, reclaiming your identity when it comes to
taking your power back.
You just have to be selfish. Everyone else in the world is selfish. Every man gets to be selfish. Every Arab man gets to be selfish. Yeah. We get to be selfish. And it's really disappointing that it's even framed like that when all it is it's not even selfish. It's just indulgent. Yeah. It's giving into your most carnal desires. And everybody has the right to do that, no matter what. And you really have to just shut out those thoughts of shame or judgment or fear of perception or whatever it may be, because it feels so good to give in and to indulge and to really find yourself. I feel like sexuality is such a transmutive and powerful energy to be in and to be a part of, and especially that energy exchange with the person. I think that it's a really formative step in finding yourself. It's integral.
If you could give the Arab girlies some hot tips on how to awaken their sexuality, what would you say to them?
Mirror work. Look at yourself in the mirror. Feel yourself, really see yourself. Awaken the woman inside of you by looking at the woman in front of you.
Are you ready to show them that?
Oh, God. Guys, I'm shy.
I'm shy. I'm shy.
The first time I felt powerful was when I said no, and I stuck to it. I'm allowed to speak on my experiences, and I don't owe anyone my silence because they're ashamed of the actions that I'm speaking about.
Can you show me how joy moves in your body? Like that? Wow. Woo! Oh insane. I'm done. If baby Sarah was in the room right now, what would you want her to know?
If little Sarah was in the room right now, I would want her to know that I'm the type of person who would have protected her and been friends with her and would have validated all of her feelings and fears and thoughts and interests, and that she's very loved.
If you had 2 final words, do you remember what you told me?
I don't.
Fuck
you?
You.
Yeah, okay, I was like, wait. It doesn't feel fitting for me to say that, but that's what I would say.
Okay. It doesn't feel fitting, does it?
No, it doesn't. Honestly,
Yeah.
you've worked me full circle in therapy. I no longer feel fuck you. Now I feel bless you.
Let's hear bless you as loud as you can, like it's gospel.
Okay. Bless you. Bless you. Bless you.
Can you sing it like you're in a choir?
Bless you. No, that's Mariah. Hold on. No, I'm not doing that.
I was gonna do it too, just to help you.
Okay, let's
I was like,
harmonize.
absolutely not. I'm not singing. If there's anything you feel like you want to say to like kind of close this chapter.
I close this chapter with love and no regrets and a sense of peace.
Yeah. You're incredible, woman. I love you. I love you. That was so good.
Thank you so much.
I almost wanted to join you.
Oh my God, that would have been. Run it back.
Stop and come here.